Right, and now it's time for This Week in Sports. And I'd like to welcome my sports co-host, Football Mark. Hey, how's it going, Mark?
Good morning, John.
Hey, good morning. A little too early for me, but good morning. All right, so I know you're a big football guy. You know, that's your name, Football Mark. But in basketball, we saw the Lakers got eliminated. They will not even be in the play-in. You have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, my thoughts. LeBron played his heart out this year. Uh, what I seen with the Lakers, my assessment with the Lakers was bad coaching, uh, a bad chemistry with the players. Westbrook wasn't a good fit for them.
No.
KD got hurt. I don't know. I think my personal opinion. I think they need to break that team up, but they're not
Again?
going. Yeah, I think
How
that
many times have the Lakers?
they're gonna have to try to figure out because of Westbrook's contract, they need to bring in some role players that they can kind of make that thing work. They've done it before. I think that with the proper changes, with the right combination of players there, they can be contenders again.
How many times in the last 10 years have the Lakers broke it up and then put it back together?
Yeah, they did it quite a few times,
Yeah.
but when you get a superstar and you have to give away half of your team, it causes this type of problems.
How much do you think this will damage LeBron's legacy, missing the playoffs?
Well, basically, it's not his fault. Look what he did. He carried the whole team, averaging 30 something points. He played the most minutes he ever played. My thing is, he's a superstar. He's one of the greatest of all times. Anybody that knows the sport knows this is not on him. This is on the Lakers, the Laker organization, and his peers.
It feels like anytime anything goes wrong, though, people are going to try to put it on him.
Exactly, because he's LeBron James.
Right.
But he'll be back next year.
Well, I think the problem there, too, is that Jordan, did they ever miss the playoffs with Jordan? Maybe
No.
early?
Well, yes, they missed playoffs. It took them a while to get there.
Yeah.
But the game, Jordan had different. It was a different time, and he had the same players.
Right.
So you don't lose. You're not losing that. You're not losing your team. So you've been playing for years and years together. So that's how that dynasty, they maintained the dynasty, and then salary was different then and now.
You know what was interesting about the both championship teams from the first three to the second three, even though the rotation players changed, they had the same formula. So they had Horace Grant and then they got Rodman. So you had your rebounder. Everybody had a clear role on those teams. Where the Lakers, I feel like the formula has changed. They always changing. Like before, when they brought LeBron in, they were going to have him kind of play the point. Then he kind of became the guy that was playing, under the glass and being the rebounder. They kept changing his role. They kept changing other people's roles. Then now you're trying to do a big three with the Lakers like he had with Miami. So I feel like they've just changed it too much. They've changed the formula too much. Where with Jordan, you had one clear formula. You had your point, you had your shooter, you had your rebounder, and you had Pippen, and then you had Jordan, and it was a clear formula.
Right, but you're not losing. You're not losing the type of quality players LeBron has lost.
Right.
Free agency, and like if you look at what the Lakers gave away, they had Alonzo Ball, they had Ingram, they had Kuzma. Even if they kept Kuzma, they would, these role players that they had. They had Caruso, a defensive stopper.
Do you remember that when LeBron wanted to be a power forward for a minute?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he could play all 5 positions, if you need to with him. What I mean? They play small ball. What I mean? It's not like back in the day where you got a big 7-footer sitting in the middle. Sometimes it's you have a 7-footer and it kind of hurts you in today's basketball game if they're not mobile.
No, absolutely. Who do you think will be the MVP?
Jokic,
Yeah, again.
there he is. The most consistent player this year.
Yeah.
The most consistent. What he brings to the table, what he's done, what he's accomplished. Actually had a better year this year than he did last year.
Yeah. I think he has, for those new stats, the new metrics, he's just blowing away, anything that's ever been done.
Exactly.
So, Embiid is saying, I don't know what I have to do to win the MVP. I don't think it's on him. I think there's just so much competition for it.
Exactly. Imagine if Denver had Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray.
Oh yeah. Yeah, can you imagine? He hasn't even had the whole team together there.
Yeah.
Well,
It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen at the end of the season with the NBA. Next year, COVID shouldn't be an issue.
right.
Everybody's going to regroup and get back to playing basketball without COVID issues.
It's about time.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens, what transpires next year.
What's interesting too with the MVP race, Ja Morant has had a big year. Do you know that the Grizzlies are 20-2 without him?
Yeah, good coaching.
Yeah,
A good combination of young players that are hungry. They play well together. They move the basketball. They play defense. They play both ends of the court. I don't know. I really, really like the Memphis Grizzlies. Watch out for them this year. They're going to cause problems. They're not going to win a championship, but they're going to cause a lot of problems.
I think they're kind of that team where we talked about where everybody knows their role, and
exactly.
They, like you said, they play really well together. Maybe we're moving away from the big three movement and going back to old school. We were going away where there were no positions. That was happening where you just need three. You needed your big three, and that was it. Now maybe we're getting back to where you have your one superstar and then you have the rest of the team around them. Maybe we're going back to that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. But yeah, if you get too many superstars there, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
The Golden State Warriors will be 10 times. They'll be better next year.
Yeah. The
Golden State Warriors, the Nuggets will be better next year with their big three, with Porter, Jamal, and Jokic. It's going to be interesting to see what the Pelicans are going to do. Zion hasn't played all this year, and he doesn't. I don't think he wants to be there.
No.
Chicago's playing good basketball.
Yeah. The ball is out for the year too. If they had him.
Yeah, good coaching out there. These young teams are getting a lot better. Even Toronto.
Remember at the beginning of the year, people were questioning that contract for DeRozan, and now look what happened.
The Lakers had a chance to get him. They should have went after him.
That's what Magic was saying. Did you see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you imagine DeRozan with the Lakers and playing at the level he's playing right now?
Yeah.
All boils down to chemistry. And Lakers don't have that. That's what they're missing.
They might want to take Twitter away from Magic in LA because he loves to talk.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they're missing a point guard. They're missing a lot of things out there. They're making a lot of bad decisions right now. So they just have to regroup. And next year, they'll figure it out. LeBron, he'll be prepared next year. I guarantee you that they'll never have a situation like this again, as long
No,
as he's there.
no, no. He's going to be thinking about this all off season. That's for sure. The kind of competitor that he is.
Yeah.
All right. So in football, Tyreek Hill goes to Miami. I didn't see that coming. We live in Miami. I didn't hear anything about that beforehand. It just kind of all of a sudden, oh, Tyreek Hill now traded to the Dolphins. What?
Yeah. I mean, these players are looking out for their best interests, for their family. They're going to go with the money.
Yeah.
I think that I really likes what he sees in the quarterback. He's talking highly about Tua. So I think he'll do well there. I think the Miami Dolphins will be a really good football team this year with him. They got a good offensive mind there, so watch out for the Dolphins.
When was the last time you heard that? Watch out for the Dolphins.
Watch out for the Miami Dolphins. Hopefully he can stay healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think there was any question of once they were going to trade him where he'd want to go, because they asked him, do you want to go to the Jets or the Dolphins? Well, all these guys want to be in Miami. They want the weather. They want all the things that come along with living in Miami.
Yes, absolutely.
It's not for everybody, though. They got to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine. We haven't seen any character issues with him.
No, not him. Just in general, some guys if they go to Vegas or they go to Miami, they get in more trouble than if they were in Green Bay.
Absolutely.
You can't get in trouble in Green Bay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
No, really excited. Everybody down here that I've talked to is really excited about Tyreek Hill. When's the last time you really seen you've seen fans get so excited about a non-quarterback? I feel like Tyreek Hill is getting that kind of quarterback excitement.
Yeah, he's getting it. Look what he's done. He's special.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I want to see the chemistry. I want to see him. I want to see how they're going to put it, how they're going to use him, and hopefully that he can stay healthy. Because I don't think that, my personal opinion, I don't think that they can do some of the things and keep him healthy like they did with what's the wide receiver out there with the 49ers?
Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, Deebo. You can't. I don't think you could put Tyreek in the backfield a lot and expect him to do those things, and stay healthy.
Nobody really can. I mean, that guy, like they were talking about, the Jets are trying to trade for the receivers that are going to be free agents next year, because now the contracts have blown up and some teams are not going to want to pay this money. So the Jets are watching Metcalf, they're watching Deebo, and the Niners, they're like, there's no way we trade him.
They're going to keep him.
What surprised me about Tyreek is that they talked about Waddle being the Dolphins' Tyreek Hill, and then it turns out the Dolphins' Tyreek Hill is Tyreek Hill.
Exactly. Yeah, that's going to be a good combination. They let Devontae Parker go. I want to see who else steps up over there. I'm not sure what happened with their tight end. The tight end they have is really good.
The
Miami Dolphins.
Gesicki.
Yes, he's really good. So he's got some weapons, and then they brought in some running backs. So.
Oh yeah.
And they got those running backs that they have played with their new head coach. So it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to do what they're going to do this year. Watch out! I'm excited for the Dolphins.
Yeah. I mean, it comes down to this is Tua's shot. Like, this is the year.
Yeah.
All right. Odell Beckham. Nobody has picked him up yet.
Nobody. I think he's going to end up in New England.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they just picked up. They just traded for, or was it trade? I think maybe it was free agency. They got Parker. Devontae Parker. You think they're going to add Odell with him?
I don't know. You know, they've been talking. They've been talking. I don't know. Basically, he's injury prone. If I was a team, I kind of would like, you know, really have to think about it. He's not the player he used to be. The Rams would be a good fit, but I don't know if it's just a money thing, you know.
Well, the injury in the Super Bowl, I think Odell is 29, so he's getting close to 30. He
Right.
got hurt. You know, he already had injury issues. Then he got hurt in the Super Bowl, so he wasn't going to get that big contract. But if he didn't get hurt in the Super Bowl, I think, you know, the Rams would have already probably signed him instead of Allen Robinson.
So it's going to be really good out there. I think that's going to be really good with him and Cooper Kupp out there.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
The Rams are loaded again. I think Odell. I think the Patriots are going to draft a wide receiver. I think the reason why some of these teams are trading wide receivers, like the Packers did, like the Chiefs did, that this is a loaded wide receiver draft, one of the best wide receiver drafts maybe we've ever seen. So I think that the Patriots are going to draft that kid Jameson Williams out of Alabama. I think Odell is going to end up in Philly.
Philly, that's a good fit for him. I don't know if it's a good fit, but that's probably or if I was Odell, I would want to play with Aaron Rodgers.
Oh yeah, the Packers, they were in the running to try to get him last year. They were the second. I think they were the runner-up to the Rams to get him last year. That would make sense.
Don't be surprised if he ends up with Green Bay.
Yeah,
that would be the best fit for him.
And then we got one more guy here, Baker Mayfield. What is going to happen there?
Baker might be a really high price backup.
really, really high price backup.
Correct.
I heard Bruce Arians liked him in Tampa, but now Arians just retired. So I thought he would end up there maybe as Brady's backup, you know, for when Brady retired. But now with Arians gone, I don't know where this guy's going to end up. And you know what? I think he's getting a raw deal because the year before last year, he brought them to the playoffs. He beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. The guy can play. You know, I was never a huge Baker Mayfield guy. I do think he's a leader of men. I don't know if he was ever a number one overall pick, but I wasn't really big on him getting drafted that high, or really him in general. You know, he had some of that. He was getting compared to Johnny Manziel a little bit. Maybe that was a little bit unfair, but you know, he's a shorter quarterback. He's got the kind of fiery personality. But now, if you look at what he did the year before this year, the guy can play. You know, and then he had a shoulder injury all of last year. So without that shoulder injury, he probably would have been, you know, pretty good. I think they were 8-9 with him having the shoulder injury. With Odell, I think Landry or Odell was hurt. Chubb was hurt a little bit. Kareem Hunt was hurt. You know, so he didn't have all his weapons either. So I think this guy gets a raw deal. The guy can play. Where he'll end, yeah.
But they set him up for success. You know, you look at the team he had. If you put him with a team that, I mean, if you ask this guy to back up and just throw the football, he's not your guy.
No,
he's an RPO guy. He's a play action fake guy. So he's, you know, but the thing is with him, he's been making mistakes. He's been throwing the football away. He's been making bad decisions. I mean, there's a lot of he hasn't been able to handle pressure really well. So
I would like to see him end up in Pittsburgh, playing Cleveland twice a year.
Yeah.
I mean, they got Mitch.
He needs a supporting staff. You know, I mean, yeah, I could see him doing well there. I could see him doing well there. I don't know. I don't think that Pittsburgh would go get him.
No, I think they want to go with Mitch Trubisky and then or Mitchell. I don't know if he's going by Mitch or Mitchell, and
Right.
and um, and draft a guy. Maybe that guy Willis out of Liberty. If he's
Right.
still there, I've heard talks that he might go number 2 to the Lions if he's still
Yeah.
there.
Everybody's looking for a mobile quarterback now. Everybody's, you don't see the traditional straight drop back quarterback anymore.
I
You got to
think
be
Baker,
mobile.
no,
I
you're
think
right.
the last of the dinosaurs is Matt Ryan, and what's the guy out there in L.A. quarterback that's won the Super
Stafford.
Bowl?
Stafford. Matt Stafford.
Yeah, Stafford. Yeah, Stafford. Yeah, those guys. Yeah, those ones that are successful, straight drop back quarterbacks. Play action fake. They're good.
I think Baker might come down to if a team loses their quarterback. So if somebody gets hurt, then they might go and try to get Mayfield. He might have to wait. I don't see them keeping him on the roster though, because they have Jacoby Brissett. So now he'll be third string because they brought Brissett in to be the backup.
Yeah, but I think he'll beat Brissett out as a second string quarterback.
You think though? I don't know though. He doesn't even want to be there.
Yeah, I get it, but I think he's a better quarterback than him.
Yeah,
I would go with Baker before I would go with him.
Baker might sabotage the thing.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got some issues going on, but
he's not too happy there.
yeah, he's not a happy camper right about now.
Whoops, interception. All right, man. Well, thank you for being on the show, and we'll see you next week.
Absolutely.